So as you may have already seen, last Friday, we made the trip from Ohio down to Kentucky for the Kent Rose Memorial Arm Drop Revival. We were getting pretty excited as we crossed the Ohio River down into Kentucky. Although we've made this trip before, there was something about this trip that we knew was special. We haven't been back to Combs Airport since Kent Rose passed away in 2016. But the memories of Kent and everything he stood for and the people he represented were heavy on my mind as we stopped in Louisa, Kentucky to fill up with fuel. At this point, we're only about 45 minutes north of the Combs airstrip where this event was to take place. So we took the opportunity to top off the fuel tanks, check the straps on all the cars, and Vicky got lunch for everybody before we headed back out onto 23 down to a little town called Hager Hill, Kentucky, which is in between Prestonsburg and Paintsville, home to the Combs Field Airport and the birthplace of the Kent Rose Hillbilly Arm Drop Drags, a legendary event held at the Combs Field Airport where the surface here is the ultimate equalizer. The popularity of this event stems from the fact that the fastest cars don't always win. It takes more than horsepower to win here at Combs. Power management, chassis setup, front-to-rear weight bias, and of course driver ability all play a key role. Now for Friday night, Test and Tune was available to any of the cars competing in the daily driver shootouts. So Billy and Allison took full advantage to try and make some licks on the cars, making one final test hit right before first round of stick shift Friday night. After the invocation delivered by Jason Terrell from 10 Soldiers, we had the opportunity to stage the cars up and let Kent Rose's youngest son, Dante, flag start their last test pass with an arm drop, just like his dad used to do. This symbolic gesture, a passing of the torch, if you will, has been in the making for over 7 years. It was an emotional moment for Gina and Dante as they walked back to the office to take a break after the official start of the event Friday night. As the stick shift class were racing, there were still racers coming in to race small tire in the other classes on Saturday. Meanwhile, Vicky, Addie, and Addie's mom, Carrie, managed to get the booth all set up in the vendors area and were set up directly across the track from the main stage, where a live concert was going on, performed by an AC/DC tribute band called Thunderstruck. These guys were absolutely amazing. They looked, sounded, and performed like the real thing, especially the lead singer and the lead guitarist. Their energy and performance struck a chord with the crowd and had everybody excited, dancing and air guitaring out in front of the stage. Although there was a lot of AC/DC fans in the house, there were also some Jimmy Dale fans.
Say Jimmy Dale!
For these kids, it was a really exciting night that they will likely never forget. The passing of Kent Rose in 2016 left a huge void in the community in eastern Kentucky. And more recently, there have been others. The City of Prestonsburg Police Department lost Captain Ralph Frazier and Patrolman Jacob Chaffins in a tragic situation last year where they were killed in the line of duty. So in their memory and in honor of what Kent Rose would do, this ceremony was held before first round of eliminations on Saturday. We also took a moment to honor the memory of Floyd County Deputy William Petrie and Floyd County Canine Drago, who also lost their lives in the line of duty just last year. And finally, Prestonsburg City Councilman Mike Lafferty, who had been a longtime supporter of Kent Rose and the arm drop drags here at Combs. Then it was time for the invocation and the playing of the national anthem, which was taken care of by none other than Kent Rose's son, Dante Rose, and his friend Kyle Newman, played on electric guitar in fine Kent Rose fashion. It was overwhelming to watch the first pair of cars go down in competition on Saturday, almost exactly 7 years to the day that Kent Rose laid out instructions to Gina for the details of this very event, only days before his passing in 2016. Although Tommy made it through first round in the Falcon, Billy's fate wasn't so certain. Although the cars down here may not be as high-tech as what we're used to racing with, we're fully aware that the folks from this area never go down without a fight. Billy's Nova struggled through a very close first-round matchup, and CJ Buckner's Mustang made it through first round and did very well throughout the rest of the event. Although the drag racing is the main attraction to the event, there's more going on here than just drag racing. Kent Rose always tried to make sure there was something at his events for everyone, including all the kids. At Kent's first race at Combs, he had assembled over 100 big wheels for all the kids and would literally go door to door, inviting the kids to come out and take part in the hillbilly arm drop drags.
Are you playing Hot Wheels? How about that one right there? There you go.
I'm in first grade, he's in first grade.
Yep. 8 years old, 9 years old.
I'm 7.
7? Well, guess what? You guys can come down there and race these big wheels right here, and after you're racing, you get in for free, and we'll give you one of these big wheels when you show up.
Today, 3 of the children that raced big wheels on that very first Kent Rose arm drop race are here to flag off the next generation of little kids who have come today to take part in the arm drop revival. Ashley Bellamy, Brianna Fannin, and Briley McCoy, who are now 19, 13, and 15 years old, have never forgotten what it was like their first time to ride big wheels at the Hillbilly Arm Drop Race. And the opportunity meant so much to them that they wanted to be here today to honor Kent and do their part to keep the tradition alive and memorable for the next generation.
Hey, Gina, look here at us, yeah.
Really? You alright?
This is my 9-year-old boy right here, Dante Rose right here. You can see he's just about as tall as me, and I'm 7'8", and this boy right here.
Kent might not have been 7 foot 8 inches tall, but he was larger than life. And he still is. So this brings us to Monday, and today is the final day that our Amish crew will be working on our new building. They had managed to finish up the exterior of the building on Friday while we were on our way down to Kentucky. The dormers are all finished, the siding and roofing's on, but the last thing to finish up is the cupola, which was originally supposed to go on the new building, but unfortunately is too large to fit with the dormers up on the roof. So, we've come up with another plan. What do you think, Squirrel? That's what she said. She wants to know if you can turn this into a snow globe in the wintertime.
Probably could.
Hey, this is their last day here. Where are you going next? You're going over on Palmer Road?
Yeah, on Palmer, right?
Yeah, that's not far.
So if you think of something else.
Yeah, I can fly the Bumblebee over there to visit with you. The Amish guys have nicknamed my drone the Bumblebee because it buzzes like a bee every time they're up on the roof. Anyway, since the cupola won't fit on the new building, we've decided to install it on the original shop instead. The installation only took about an hour and a half. They had to remove some roofing material and cut the material out in preparation for the cupola to be mounted on top. They had already assembled the cupola in the new building out back and then carried it out to the old shop, lifted it up on top of the roof by hand, and set it in place. While the Bumblebee's keeping an eye on them from above, down below on the ground, Vicky's got all kinds of ideas popping up in her head of plans for how she's going to decorate the inside of that cupola for each holiday. We'll have more on that developing issue in a few minutes. As the guys finished up the cupola, the last thing to do was place the weather vane and the eagle on top. Finally, the project of the new building and the cupola installation on the old shop is completed. It was time for the guys to go home, but not before I got a chance to introduce them to Miss Midnight Maverick. You guys seen her on Facebook, right? Tony and Tess flew in last night, and they're here for about a day before they have to go down to 10 Soldiers, pick up a truck and trailer, and drive to Texas. But while they're with us here tonight, they wanted to take an opportunity to work on their Mustang for a little bit before they head to Kentucky first thing in the morning. Tony was even nice enough to cook dinner for us on the patio that night: steaks, brats, and hamburgers. While they left out early Tuesday morning for Kentucky, I started making phone calls gathering up parts to finish up the steering column installation in the 55. What you doing, Squirrely Locks?
Catching up on stuff.
On what stuff?
Stuff.
Shipping?
Yeah, orders.
Oh boy.
I'm shipping out tank tops today.
We had a good weekend, didn't we?
Yes. Yes,
Our
we did.
shop is done?
Yes.
Sort of. The Amish job is done.
Yeah, the Amish part of it's done. It's beautiful. Did you tell everybody about my plans for the little cupola? I'm already on the hunt for a waving mechanical Santa up there that can wave out the window. Or then, somebody gave me the greatest idea on Facebook. They said the Chinese snowman. January, the month of January, the Chinese snowman gets to hang out up there in the cupola.
Kenny, your job this Christmas is to deal with Vicky the entire month of December.
You're gonna need a big ladder.
All right, I got to run down and see Mark for a minute and pick up the adapter for this wiring harness for this steering column. I'll be back here in a little bit. So while Vicky's filling Kenny in on all her decorating ideas for the holidays, me and my associates jump into 64 and head down to Mark at A1 Auto Parts to pick up this adapter that I need to hook up the new steering column in the 55 to the 55's original wiring harness. Mom and Dad were adamant that when we started this project, any modifications made to the car be done in a fashion that the car can be easily put back to original.
Piece for you. One piece for you.
Where's your fearless leader?
He's in the office.
Fearless leader.
What? Stop.
Good Lord.
Look.
You got this stuff I need for my 55?
I do.
I hope so.
Oh,
I need
I-
brake lights and turn signals.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to get rear-ended.
This is the adapter I need to make the steering column plug into the car.
Yes.
I'm changing the steering column, right?
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes. Round hole, square peg now. Won't be once you change that. So anyway, there's the thing. He'll have to bend the tabs back up. So once he slides that in there, then he'll pop out and push that tab down.
Okay.
And then once he pulls it out, he'll have to spring it back up a little bit before he shoves it into this. It's all
Okay.
color coded, so hopefully he's not colorblind like thing one.
I mix paint.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
He shouldn't say that,
He should.
but he does.
He does. Yeah. Because he's got no filter. Anyway, what else?
I think that's it for right now.
Okay.
We'll see what happens when I plug this thing in. And
And I'll have you know that Darren from Haywire brought that down personally from upper part of Columbus on Saturday. And dropped
What?
it off. Yeah, he drove it down here.
oh my gosh.
He is. He's a big fan. He wanted to help. He wanted to help out. So
Well, we definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
He did good. So,
All right, I'm going to get this thing back here at the shop and see if I can get anything to work.
all right. Good luck.
Thanks to Mark and the guys at Haywire, the 55's turn signals and brake lights are back in operation without cutting a single wire in the factory harness. We also got Dad's old Mr. Gasket tachometer hooked back up, and we worked on cleaning up the inside of the car while we wait for the temperatures to drop outside. After it started to cool down outside, it was time to get busy on the equipment out back. I've got quite a bit of dirt work that I need to get finished out back to hold the gravel in place that we're getting ready to put inside the barn under the concrete. We've also got quite a bit of scrap lumber that we need to get cleaned up and put into a burn pile out back and store the rest of it on a skid so that it's easy to move around until we use it all up. Thankfully, I've still got all my equipment from when I used to do excavating, and I haven't forgotten how to operate it. It's saving us quite a bit of money on the building, plus I don't have to worry about someone doing it differently than I would like it done. I stayed busy out back pushing dirt until almost dark, and then it was time to go in and take a shower, and Vicky and I decided to take the 55 into town to get dinner. So far, I'm really happy with this engine combination. The stock 400 dish pistons make this engine pump gas friendly, even with the 62cc combustion chamber trick flow heads. I stopped every once in a while and made a few adjustments to the ignition timing and to the carburetor on our way to dinner. While we were at Smoky Bones, we got a text message from Billy letting us know that he had filmed a podcast with Jason Terrell at 10 Soldiers after he dropped Tony and Tess off, and then stopped in Cincinnati to take in a Cincinnati Reds baseball game.
Take it, baby. Yes, sir.
All right, Squirrel, what do you got for me?
Well, let's just recap. The weekend was awesome.
It was really, really good.
It was really good. I loved it, and we're already excited for next year. Like, I've talked to Gina. Everybody's on board to make this an annual event, so it'll just get bigger and better every year. And I loved meeting all the people. Just the people of that area are so nice. But there were also people that traveled a good ways to come to the race.
Oh, yeah?
There's this couple from Georgia, and they were telling me that they thanked me. They said, hey, thanks for in the videos when you give the details, because I give them ideas, stuff to do.
Bad ideas.
No. They said that last year they wouldn't have known about those Christmas lights in Kentucky and the Corvette Museum and all that. They went and did that because they got the idea from me, and they were like, thanks, we're always looking to you guys to see what you're up to get ideas. And that's how they ended up at the race. So I thought that was cool. That made me feel good. I enjoyed watching all the kids. There were just kids everywhere. Everybody was playing and having a good time, even though it was so hot. I mean,
it was terribly hot.
It was very hot.
Billy's CO2 line burned off inside the car, like melted inside the car. And so if you guys haven't watched the Street Racing Channel video yet from this event, you should go watch that.
Yeah.
But,
kind of some tense moments, and
yeah,
really
so
good.
we blew up well, we didn't blow it up, but we've hurt the engine in my Nova already. Like, we put that engine in there just so that we could go ahead and do the brakes and do the chassis and the suspension and continue to make content with it and drive it around. We had no real intention of heads up racing it. First to the finish first. No, that wasn't in the cards. Maybe 650 index. The engine would have been fine for that. But Junior made a last minute decision to take my car down there and race it heads up. And everything was going good until he programmed, he programmed a couple more pounds of boost to it. And just watch the video.
Yeah,
you'll see.
You'll see.
Street Racing Channel. If you're not subscribed to that, you need to be.
It's a rare longer video. It's almost an hour long, and it's really, really good video. Watch it till the end. What else? Oh my gosh. So there's this little boy. He had been coming up to the booth several times throughout the day, just looking at what we had and stuff. And towards the end of the night, he comes up, he's got $3 in his hand, and he's like, how much are t-shirts? And I'm like, well, they're $25. And he's like, why not $3? Do you have any t-shirts for $3? Okay, after watching this kid all day, I'm like, I've got a soft spot. And I'm like, you know what? Which one do you want? He says, I really want the Billy the Kid shirt. I'm like, all right. So I dig him out his size, and he is so happy. He goes off on his way, but guess what?
He comes back with 6 other kids wanting $3 t-shirts.
All his buddies all come over, how much are t-shirts? And they're like hitting me up, and I'm like, oh boy.
So Jimmy Dale had an idea. Just take the one shirt and cut it in 6 pieces. There you go.
Jimmy's like, problem solved. Give me the scissors. They could share it. And I was like, oh, we had a good laugh about it. But so that inkling that was telling me, I'll just give the kid a shirt. A few minutes later, his dad came over, and they thanked me. And they told me that he had been in the hospital 3 weeks earlier for 5 days after a dirt bike accident. He had a brain bleed, a fracture. He says, here, feel my forehead. And you can feel that he had a fracture of his skull. And I'm like, this poor kid, he did deserve a t-shirt. He's had a rough summer. So, yeah, it all worked out.
It was a good weekend.
It really was. I just love the people of that area. So it was a great time, and we'll do it again next year.
Alrighty. Is that it?
I think so. Oh,
That's never it.
No, it never is. So the OMG hoodies and shop shirts are back up for pre-order on the website, oldmansgarage.shop. Also, the Jack's Wax Old Man's Shine is back in stock on the Jack's Wax website. Use your OMG 15 to get 15% off of that. Now I'm done.